Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook. Here we are getting close to the end of the year. Today is Friday, December 29, and it's a pleasure to be here with you exchanging headlines from our city, state, and country, along with your comments about the things you are doing in the city this holiday season. As always, we welcome everyone to join us, and we're particularly happy to welcome anyone that is watching live for the first time. If that is your case, just write the word new in your comment and we'll give you a nice little welcome. If there is something really important that you wish to share with everyone, such as Den, who lets us know with a capital letter Q that Kathy is making oatmeal raisin cookies this morning. Excellent. Thank you very much for sharing that. I'm sure they're going to be delicious. So anybody, if you have something that you really want to share with everybody, just add a capital letter Q. We'll be happy to look at it during the comment section later on. And now for some real news, and I mean real as opposed to yesterday when I saw this announced, and since it's been repeated in several news outlets and it was mentioned last week, everything seems to indicate that this is not a Dia de los Inocentes prank. We are talking, of course, about Sam's and Walmart across from the Maritime Terminal now charging for parking, which has divided public opinion and has created a little bit of a traffic chaos because cars approach the parking lots only to realize that they have to now pay for the privilege. And when they try to reverse their action, there is a car behind them. Of course, you know, this is bound to divide opinions among the population. But the bottom line is, if Sam's and Walmart's own the parking lot because it's their property, then it's entirely up to them to do whatever they want with it. And, you know, it is also very well known that a lot of vehicles that have nothing to do with Sam's or Walmart use the parking lot for other reasons. Nothing kinky, but I mean, there's a lot of city buses or tour buses that park there. There's a lot of people that operate through platforms to lease their vehicles, and they also park there. So it's become a little bit of a meeting point. How much of a meeting point? Clearly too much for the large retail chains to handle, and thus they are now charging for parking. So if you're headed to Walmart at the Maritime Terminal, just be mindful of that. And of course, another vehicle went into the Río Cuale in Colonia El Remance, where the riverside sidewalk and part of the street had been claimed by the river currents 2 years ago and also recently during the last hurricanes of the season. Apparently, authorities arrived and there was nobody there to claim the vehicle, so they actually towed it away, and authorities are waiting for somebody to go and claim it. Apparently, nobody was harmed, but the bottom line is we certainly hope that the city will fix that stretch of the road in Colonia El Remance sometime in the future. And Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines are now being spotted locally, but barely, as apparently only 20 doses have been shipped to Puerto Vallarta. Farmacias del Ahorro, kitty corner from La Comer, seems to have a few doses, or had a few doses yesterday at a price of 799 pesos per vaccine. And it was also announced that aside from Farmacias del Ahorro, Guadalajara, and Benavides, you will also be able to purchase the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine at the Walmart drugstore, where now you have to pay to park. Shit happens, I suppose. And it's nice to see that Galleria Dante is also having an event this evening starting at 6 p.m. We've learned this from Banderas News. You may recall that a couple of days ago we announced a similar event across the street at Galleria Contempo. So if you're out and about tonight, you will have two excellent opportunities to enjoy top quality art displayed at two of Puerto Vallarta's favorite art galleries, along with the rest of the nightlife that can be found on Basilio Vadillo and surrounding streets on any given weekend. And this is what we have for now. Let me switch over to the weather, which of course I haven't turned on, and this is why we cannot see it on the screen. Come on, my dear weather. And there we go. Guess what, meatbag? It's sunny, says our snarky weatherman today. He also says that it's 22 degrees out there and humidity is low at only 44%. What a wonderful condition to go out and enjoy a nice walk. As far as the forecast, today we can expect clear skies throughout the day with a high of 26 and a low of 14 degrees in Puerto Vallarta. Brr. Tomorrow, Saturday, we'll have clear skies in the morning with partly cloudy skies in the afternoon with a high of 27 and a low of 15. And then New Year's Eve, Sunday, mostly clear skies with a few clouds wandering around, a high of 27 and a low of 17. What else do we have to share? We have... Well, New Year's Eve is right around the corner, and of course the city has announced the usual fireworks display and live entertainment on New Year's Eve at the Malecón. The fun starts at 8:15 in the evening, with fireworks displayed shortly before midnight. There will be a number of bands performing live while you enjoy the festivities. So if you're going to do this, just be mindful of the fact that you will not have public transportation available after I think it's after 11:30 at night. So you will have to rely on walking or your own vehicle or a cab. But things tend to get a little chaotic after New Year's Eve, so make your choices with as much common sense as you can, I suppose. And speaking of common sense or lack of thereof, we have to talk about this woman. Well, we don't have to, but, this woman got so ambitious that she was very proud after hoarding 50 Costco cakes to resell them by the slice somewhere in Mexico. Nobody seems to want to tell the identity of this woman, but things didn't work out so well for her as her prices were too extreme, too high. Nobody bought the cakes, and then there was their expiration date. So we give her points for her entrepreneurial ambition, but everything has a limit. Wah, wah, wah. And we also have the final choice of the year of 5 classical albums that you may want to explore. This is, of course, courtesy of the New York Times. We've discovered all kinds of fun music throughout the year thanks to this monthly selection of great classical albums to explore, and I will include this in the show notes as usual. This, of course, brings us to you. What are your plans for New Year's? What are you going to do? We have one more broadcast tomorrow, and then the year is over. Can you believe that? Wow. And as Filbert says, yes, this is the last, thank God it's Friday of the year, so we might as well do a little bit of that. And what else do we have? Well, what a shit show, Gary. I think we make it more of a shit show than it actually is. I mean, in Mexico, some supermarkets charge for parking, others don't. Usually the parking gets charged for at places where the supermarket is in a shopping center. In Guadalajara, there are most of the shopping centers charge for the privilege. So what can I say? You know, it is what it is, and people are going to either like it or not. Let's see what else we have. Oh, thank you for that, Albert. I haven't had a chance to see the new Ruta Mushi exhibition, the one about the churches. Albert reports that he got a chance to see it today, and it's worth stopping by and checking it out. Thank you very much. And as Albert indicates, Ruta Mushi, our portable or mobile museum, history museum here in Puerto Vallarta, is parked today at the Hidalgo Park. Purim pam pum pum. Ooh! Thanks to your recommendations, we were able to buy the artwork of our dreams at Galleria Dante. Claire made the process painless, and she spoke very highly of you. We can't wait to mount this on our foyer when we get back home. Thank you very much for sharing that, Mike. I've said this before. Every time I learn that we make connections and you report back of the wonderful connections you've made through Coffee and Headlines, it makes me very, very happy. That's what we are here for. Mateo, my music correspondent from Mexico City, who's always trying to get me to go to wonderful concerts in Mexico City, is arriving in 5 days. It'll be a pleasure to get together for cocktails, my dear Mateo. It'll be great to see you and hear all the latest stories of your concerts and recording sessions. Let's see what else we have. Ronald says, I'm staying home for the New Year's. It's safer and cheaper. Kitty likes it also. I hear you, Ronald. That's exactly what I am planning on doing. I have a lunch date today, but the rest of the weekend is going to be very, very mellow for me, and I'm looking forward to that. Christy says, thank you for the fart flick. It was so fun. You know, I never knew that much information about animal farts, and I thought it was beautifully done, and I thought it was nicely animated because it was, the illustrations were animation. It was sweet. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and yes, that is another connection made through Coffee and Headlines. What else do we have? Well, we've reached the end of your comments. I have seen photographs, now that I'm thinking about it, that the new cafe at the Joint Co-working Hotel, at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work, is coming along nicely. So it should be opening sometime in the near future. Maybe it'll open in time for my next music appreciation presentation, which is not coming for another 2 weeks, but we're going to be doing Soulful Storytellers, focusing on 5 amazing Mexican songwriters and performers on Thursday, January 11, from 5 to 6:45 at the Joint Boutique Hotel. I will not be making much noise about this just yet, but starting next week, I will share some tidbits about these wonderful performers. And again, this is what we have for today. Thank you for another year, and thank you for making it possible. As you know, you make it possible with your contributions, with your coffees, with your monthly memberships, your annual memberships. You keep us here, finding information for you wherever we can, and we're happy to do that. So, Continue to get ready for your New Year's. I hope you have a wonderful day today. It seems like a great day to be out and about. And I hope you'll check in tomorrow for our last broadcast of 2023. Have an amazing day.